Hi, my name is Jo. Going over a split squat today. Deep lunges, some stretches for your hip flexor and for your tibialis. So there's a lot of different exercises in here. I'm going to show about 6 different variations. Let's start with what a split squat is. It's a lunge with your feet, with your legs, with your feet further apart from each other. So we're working on the middle splits. All right, so find that stance that you can push yourself up from. That's the first piece. You need to be able to go up into the top of a lunge. If you don't have the strength to be able to do that, you might have to bring your feet closer together. The closer your feet are together, the closer you get to 90 degrees in both legs, the closer this is to a lunge. Make it more of a split squat. We are pushing that leg further out. So challenge your flexibility there. If the balance is the only issue, grab a pole. Hold on to something. That's why I have this guy. If you don't have a pole, stand next to something that you can hold on to. The wall might even be enough support. Just to be able to lean on. Push down into a pole into the ground is helpful. If you're pushing on your leg, that is one version, but you're using your own body at that point. It's nice to be able to tell how much support you need of something else, so that way you don't have to lean forward. You can lean back, you can lean to the side, instead of always having to lean forward. That's why I like a stick or a wall. Okay, next up, we need to talk about the difference between a hip extension and a split squat. Hip extension is extending that back leg to extend the hip. So we're curling the toes under, pushing ourselves up, but notice how the rest of my body didn't go up. We're extending that back hip. Increasing the stretch in that quad. Squeeze your glute here. Squeeze your quad. Push your hips down into the floor to make that more intense. There's your hip extension. To go into a split squat, we're just going up and down. And so yes, we're extending that hip, but now we are pushing with our glute and hamstring in the front to get ourselves all the way up. The stance is staying the same. Both legs are moving. So working on our middle splits position, but we're keeping our feet in one position like a squat instead of a lunge where we would bring our feet back together a lot. All right. To add some middle split flexibility, mobility to this. Mobility meaning strength and flexibility combined, which is why we're doing reps. We're getting in a position that's exhausting. Might hear it in my voice. I'm like a little bit more out of breath while demoing all this. For the middle split, we could do a hold. So we could work on just holding this deep position. If I push my body forward, I'm extending that hip in the back to get a deeper stretch. It's more exhausting here. I could stay back to where I'm working on extending this front leg further. Extending it while you're in the split, probably harder than starting off on the ground. So if I start from the bottom, go into like the deepest possible position I can get. 30-second hold. Holy crap, am I going to be shaking? You can probably see it already in my back leg. All right, so we're going to feel that everywhere. Further up into the groin. A lot of muscles are working to hold that split. And that is how we gain strength and flexibility for an advanced exercise like the splits. Instead of just stretching, which hasn't gotten you anywhere, right? Hold positions, add some strength, figure out what's tight. If you feel this in your hamstring, do it more with your leg out straight in front of you. If you feel it a lot in that back leg and that hip, do more hip extensions. Work on your weaknesses. All right? We could add more elements to this to make it easier or harder. I've added a block for people to make it easier. So if going down to the bottom of that lunge is really hard and you just want to work on the flexibility piece, you like the idea of having a deeper position than usual, but going all the way down and up is just really hard, elevate the back knee. Okay? The distance is shorter. Again, holding on to something at the same time. This is where I start all my clients, where they get to hold onto a pole and their back knee is elevated. For everyone that really wants a challenge, Now this leg is tired, so to do a harder exercise, I'm gonna switch a little bit. Hold on to some weights. So get that long position. Got to set up first once I have weights. Curl that back toe under. Lift the back knee up. Push your hips down. Extend that back leg. And breathe and hold. Could do my hip extensions. Do full reps of split squats up and down. That's how I make it harder. All right, little bonus exercise. It's just a stretch for the knees, the ankles, tibialis. In case no one knows about this one, 90-degree angles here because you actually want your foot closer. Push that knee over the toe. So this one, you get a stretch in that back leg again. And we are getting that ankle to work harder. Key parts to this is to keep the heel on the ground. Push your weight actually, yes, down into your leg, which will increase the stretch in the back. So very similar to the previous ones. And go in and out of this. Your tibialis posterior will get tired. Relax and breathe. The further your knee gets over the toe, the more ankle flexibility you are gaining. Okay? So again, you could add weights to this. Now there's more weight pulling my knee forward. Okay? We're doing reps on each side. That is for anyone noticing that when they squat, their knees are like over their feet and they're falling backwards. We want to be comfortable with the knees going over the toes a little bit. That is a natural position for the bottom of a squat. If you're having a hard time sitting in the bottom of the squat without your heels immediately coming up, it might be because your ankles are not flexible enough. So we can talk more about that, but go watch some other videos. Yogi squat for beginners is a good one. I have a few different positions for being in the bottom of the squat, having to help with your ankles. Thanks for watching. Leave some comments, let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel. You'll find more content about strength and joint flexibility altogether.